a couple at first. We are going to skip right to agenda item number 4. That way we're leaving public comments to occur before the presentation from the Board of Education, and also the Board of Education presentation of their budget will be on as soon as we can get the Zoom back going, which I think is hopefully in 15 minutes. Good, and we're streaming on YouTube, so hopefully the public can be able to see what we're talking about with regard to the other agenda items. But I think the most important to have with the Zoom is the Board of Education presentation of their budget and public comment. So I'm going to go right to review of minutes, because since we're going out of order, and I'll just entertain a motion to proceed this way.
Make a motion to modify the agenda, moving agenda item 5 to 2 and 2 further down to where 5 was.
Okay. Correct. We're going to move it forward to the 3 spot.
Correct. Modify as stated.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? I should just also note that all board members are here present in this meeting physically. No board member is online, so we don't have any problem with them missing out because of the technical difficulties. We'll move right on to the review of minutes. We have prior minutes, I believe, from the 2/19 meeting. We haven't reviewed those yet, correct? Okay, we're looking at 2/19 and then 3/5. So the 2/19 minutes. It's when we had presentations by the Registrar of Voters, Wheeler Library, North Stonington Ambulance Association, and the North Stonington Volunteer Fire Company. Move to accept the February 19th, 2025 meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. That's 501. Nice job on those, Amy. And then we have the March 5th minutes.
Make a motion to accept March 5th meeting minutes as written.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? 6-0. Okay. We're on to agenda item technically number 3, which is the former 4. We're going to review our undesignated fund policy. And just to preface why we're having this discussion. We have a fund policy for several reasons. One being to realize why we have an undesignated fund policy for regard to emergency situations, changes in funding from the state, and mill rate stabilization. And we also have a policy that establishes a floor and a ceiling. The floor is 8.5%, 8%, 8.5%. And the, sorry, I'm just trying to get to it right now. 17% is the ceiling. And at present, from the presentation from last week with Bob Carlson, and we've known this has been a potential for a while now, even going back to last year's budget, is that we're close to the 17% upper threshold. And I think we're almost there, according to his presentation. And we have in our policy, what do you do if you have an overage? And the policy states if the undesignated fund balance exceeds the maximum level of the annual operating expenditures as stated in this policy, after one fiscal year, the Board of Finance shall is a mandatory word in legal parlance, refund the taxpayers of the town of North Stonington in the form of, and in parentheses, until overage is expelled, a reduction of the mill rate, or reduction of town debt. Now, I know Gary has talked about, what are our options to, this policy, it obviously talks about whether or not, the 17% is there for over a year. Does that mean that we don't take action for a year? Are we able to take action before a year? Can we use the undesignated fund preemptively to maintain a certain mill rate level? And does the policy allow us to do that? In the past, and I know that other towns have done the same thing, and we did it during COVID, that we plugged budget shortfalls with the undesignated fund to stabilize the mill rate and to keep it from going up, which ostensibly I think is a fair use of the undesignated policy, because it's, the policy earlier on says it's for mill rate stabilization.
So I agree with your interpretation, but I think there's a nuance there, and it should be sustainable. It shouldn't be, we plug it for this year and then next year our budget starts at where we left off and we just have a gap to solve anyway. And we should be using this on behalf of the taxpayers. We either send it back in a sustainable fashion or we pay down debt, but it's not to balance the budget for this year so that next year we can start at the same budget and be in the hole. And that's kind of where I was going. Hey, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Based on the actual policy itself, during COVID, we enacted bullet 2 and bullet 3, economic downturn and to stabilize the mill rate, because we didn't know what was going to happen after the 1 month, 2 months, 6 months down the road. But we had a plan where after everything kind of settled out, we took chunks. All right, well, it was going to be 400, I think it was like $440,000 one year. And then we cut it in half. And then by the third year, we were, was it the second or third? Second year, we really hammered it home and saying, hey, we're not going to allow this to be the new norm. And we put that money back. You're 100% right, Gary. Really, we're not in an economic downturn of epic proportions. We should be enacting that last paragraph where we're giving back to the taxpayer when we have an overage of reducing debt or reducing the mill rate. Reducing the mill rate, it's very easy where you go and say, hey, we want you to go do this. Yes, you're going to feel the pain. You're going to do all this stuff, but we can go in there. We can go in there and lower the mill rate for that year using the overages. And then next year it will recorrect itself.
We did it last.
We did it last year. Where other towns were taking out of their undesignated fund to balance their budget and make their budget work, we gave a tax break. It was a small one, but we gave a tax break because of that.
Yeah. So I will put a point on the pencil. Where I have a hard spot is we know that the education budget can't go down. So if we have a year like this year, where proposed the budget goes up, and we use this overage to pay it down to stabilize the mill rate, next year, they're going to start at this overage again, or we're going to start at this overage again. So are we truly doing anything to benefit the taxpayers with that overage? Because all we're doing is snapping a new datum as ground zero. And so all I'm saying is we should really be looking at this and say, if we're going to do something with the undesignated fund, what can we do for the taxpayers that's sustainable and repeatable, not just fix it for 1 year, because we're only going to be that far behind next year. Sorry. Take it away, Sarah.
I have, like, how much are we over?
0.04.
0.04.
What is that, $40,000?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I think something, if we were going to go one way or the other, just to Gary's point, I think there's some shorter term debt. Like if we did redemption on some of the massive loans, right? Like that doesn't actually net us anything in the near future, like the school loan or something like that. But if we did some of the shorter term debt, it frees up cash flow for the municipal government, which could be used for other capital projects or something else.
This is where you're going to see Gary and Lou go back and forth about debt. But the thing is, the debt that we have is a lot of it is low interest
On the
debt
school.
on the school.